So let's just dive into new products. We're going to go through these kind of fast.
Okay, cool. First up is, I really like this. This is a waterproof battery holder, which is really handy if you're doing projects. We do have battery holders that are not waterproof, and they're good, but once in a while you want to, you know, take a project outside, and in that case it's good to have a waterproof battery holder. So I'll show this off on the overhead.
Okay.
So, oh, this thing's really big. Can you maybe get rid of it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep going.
So the nice thing about this is it holds 3 AA batteries here, and there's these ears you can see. And I took the screws out. I just put them in here. But
I have to move that to the other side.
Well, yeah, I can't see.
There you go.
Now I can see. Couldn't see before. And basically it goes together, and there's screws that fit together. And around here there's a gasket. I can't really pull it out because it's kind of embedded. But the good news is that, you know, when you press this in, the gasket basically forms a seal around here. I don't know exactly what the IP rating is, but I'm guessing that this is good for outdoor stuff, not necessarily if you want to dunk it underwater. It might survive that, but I don't know if it would survive it up to 1 meter.
Okay, a couple of quick questions.
And then on the other side, there's an on-off button. And what's nice about this is it's waterproof, so it is potted inside, and then you can, when you press the button, you can turn it on and off without having a switch. And switches are where usually water gets in.
Okay. Will this work to power an Arduino? And will this work with rechargeable batteries?
It'll work with any batteries that are AA size, so rechargeables work fine. The voltage will be a little lower. You can use this to power an Arduino as long as you connect the power output directly to the 5-volt line instead of going through the DC jack, which is a little risky because there's no protection diode, but it is possible to do that. You can power a lot of microcontroller projects from 4.5 volts.
Okay. Let's keep moving along. This is a fun one, and you can actually, I'll keep it on the overhead. We have the Mesograph Pen.
Yeah, this was your pick. You really like this pen.
Yeah, this is a metal pen that is also a set of calipers. Super high quality. Made in Germany.
Yes, this is this German metal pen, and I guess you can refill it too because it's a kind of a nice pen. It's kind of got a couple things going on here. One is, it's got your standard calipers. It's metric only. It's metric and imperial. There's up to 4 inches, and there's also up to about 100 millimeters. So that's handy. And then the depth gauge is the clip. So there's a little bit of a depth gauge as well, and they say it's a tire gauge, but you can also use it, for any kind of depth gauge calculation. And it's not precise because it can bend a little bit, but it's pretty good. And then for people who know how to read Vernier Calipers, there's a Vernier scale as well. It's really hard to read on the overhead, but if you look at the images on the website, so you can get to 0.1 millimeter or precision, or 0.01 inch, maybe, I don't know. Or 1/10 of 1/16 of an inch. So that is possible to do. I'm not really good at reading Verniers, but with practice you can get really good at it. And what's nice is it works quite well as a pen as well.
Yeah.
Clicking on,
for the previous product, someone wants to know, could they charge the batteries that are inside of the waterproof container?
I mean, it's a direct connection.
Yeah.
So yeah,
if your charger was on the outside, that would be fine.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're gonna keep moving. This is the super tiny Wi-Fi dongle.
It's super tiny.
That we have for the BeagleBone, and if you could see, there's real fingers in there. That's how tiny it is. This is a big version of it, but you can see.
It is small. So
it is. They are super tiny.
This is the adapter. It's a Bgn adapter. It's a Wi-Fi USB adapter, and we actually tried a whole bunch of Wi-Fi adapters, and we found that this one actually worked the best, despite it didn't have the longest range because it is small. There's an antenna inside. There's a chip antenna, but of course it doesn't have a massive antenna. But still, it worked quite well, and I think partially it just has to do with what chipset it has and also the power requirements, and so this works really good. And we have a little tutorial on getting it running. You can get it running in like 5-10 minutes. And the best part is that it's this chipset is easy. You don't have to reinstall the kernel or redevelop a kernel for the BeagleBone. It's supported from the kernel inside. You just have to install a module, and it's really easy using O-package. And so you just have to connect to the Ethernet for 5 minutes to download the package from the internet. That's the easiest. You can probably also just put on the SD card, but I think That's probably the easiest way. And then you plug it in, and then it'll automatically, you can set it up so it automatically connects to your favorite Wi-Fi network, or you can probably also have it connect to an anonymous network if you need.
Okay, a couple questions. Do you need the driver when you install this?
Well, you need to install you need to install a driver, because no drivers are included with the distribution, but you don't have to reinstall a kernel. You just basically connect to the internet using the Ethernet, which is automatic and doesn't need a driver. Say install the driver, because
that is a big distinction. Redoing the kernel is a lot more difficult than just putting an add-on.
Yeah, there's a couple things that are cool to do with the BeagleBone, but unfortunately require like a full okay, take the SD card, re-image it, download this thing, compile it. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is just download the driver from the internet, just because they want to save space. There's only a 2 gig or 4 gig card in here. They're not going to download every driver automatically for you.
Yeah, and then the Wi-Fi, is it Bgn?
Yes, it's Bgn.
Bgn. All right, that's great. Okay, we're gonna keep moving along. Next up, we have a smoke-colored Arduino case. These are for the people who want to be a little darker, but still have all the benefits of being translucent.
Yes.
So these are new. They're actually really nice. I like this type of color of electronic cases.
Yeah, these are. This is translucent, so you can see through it, but it's not clear. So now we have like whitish, clear, and translucent. Still comes with the awesome brass inserts and fits Arduinos really nicely, and an LCD display, and then you can easily machine or drill this, which is great. Like this case.
Okay, moving right along. A new 16x2 blue OLED character display.
Yeah.
I think we had this on It's Not Out Yet last week, didn't we?
Did I?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyways,
Okay,
it's very pretty.
We'll show it actually when I do the demo for the flow meter, actually, because I'll show it all at once, or I can show it now really quickly, but I'll show it more in detail. Okay, next up.
Okay. Next up, we have these flow sensors. This is something you were really excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gardening projects.
Yeah, the flow sensor stuff. We have plastic ones and we have these brass ones.
Yeah, we have both. So I'll show actually how it works. I took one apart because I was kind of curious. So inside, so this is a tube. They read. So this is a nominal 1/2 inch national pipe thread tube and male, so you can connect it up very easily. There's adapters at every hardware store to whatever kind of tubing or hose or whatever you want. And inside is this little pinwheel, and it's a little tough to see, but maybe if I take this out, on the pinwheel, this grayish thing is a magnet. So the pinwheel has a magnet attached to it, and it fits inside here. And then this fits over it, and inside here there is a Hall effect sensor. And so what there's this plastic gap, so there's and then there's a waterproof gasket and all that stuff, which I've lost since then, but it was on there. So this is attached on, and so when the pinwheel spins, every time it spins, it passes the Hall effect sensor, and the Hall effect sensor ticks up. So that's why there's power, ground, and the yellow is the Hall effect output. And then you just count the number of ticks. Now the good news is that it's like super easy to use, and it's like fairly inexpensive. The bad news is not extremely precise. This is like 10% precision. So if you're like, oh, I have to measure like exact milliliters or liters of water or liquid, not good. But if you're just doing like, okay, well, I just need to know like, was it 1 liter or 2 liters, or like, is it is water flowing through it, about how much? Then this is definitely a much better approach. And then we also have brass ones. This one is going to be a lot more rugged. It also has the pinwheel, although it's a little tougher to see. It's also a little smaller. So let me see if I can get my demo running. I have a little counter. Actually, my Arduinos.
Okay, can I fire some questions off at you?
Yeah, sorry, my Arduinos are flicking out. Yeah, what's up?
Okay, most important question, can you run beer through it?
They are not, it's not food rated. So I can't tell you that it's safe for anything that you will consume. The brass one, they tend to be used for water heaters. So I'm trying to get a spec sheet or a data sheet out of the company that makes these. But it's going to be difficult for them to say like, oh, it's rated for food because it actually legally means something.
Yeah.
So I personally would feel comfortable using the brass one for food, but it's just, literally it's not rated as food safe.
Someone wants to know chemical resistance. It's a question mark.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what chemicals.
Okay. Are we going to have any other on-off waterproof switches other than the green one?
We might.
Yep. Next up. Thank you for stocking these. That was a statement. That's good.
Yay.
Is there a max flow rate? Can I use this for drinking water?
The drinking water question is the same as the beer question. There is a max flow rate. It's listed on the product page. My demo just totally died.
Yeah.
But maybe it'll come back to life later.
I guess.
I'll see. Maybe there's just a wire loose.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff on this table.
Yeah. All this stuff is new. We're trying to get more data sheets and stuff from the supplier. So.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep going. The manufacturer give us maximum pressure ratings for both.
Yes, they are in the product pages. I don't remember.
We did get that. All right. Next up, screwdriver set.
Yes.
Yeah, we evaluated a bunch, and there was a lot that we did not.
Yeah, so we have two
choose.
now.
Yeah.
We have a little one that's like for more precision stuff, and this big one. Actually, I don't even have to show this because it's kind of the same as what you see on the screen here. There's two screwdrivers that come with it. One's like kind of a smaller one, and it's kind of meant for the smaller bit sets, although there's adapters that go both ways, and then it has an extender that you can also attach. And then there's the big one, and the nice thing about the big one is it's got a built-in ratchet. So you can use it with any of these tools, and then you don't have to twist all the way around. You just twist back and forth, and you can set the ratchet to be clockwise or counterclockwise. So that was really nice. They're magnetic, so that the bits fit in, and there's like 65 different parts that come with it.
Okay. Moving right along, we've got this battery holder moving into our battery
Suddenly
holder.
My demo, I unplugged
Hey, look,
it.
your demo came back.
I plugged it in and I unplugged it, and then it came back. So let me just show it really quickly.
I know we solved most problems. Oh,
Yeah.
look.
So this is the OLED, so you can see it's super, super crisp. These are like gorgeous blue OLEDs. And they are exactly the same size, pretty much, and mounting holes, and it's compatible with character displays. So, I just used the standard liquid crystal Arduino library for this, and it works fine. And then I'm just running the demo code that I have linked off of this product page, and I don't want to get water all over this, so I'm just gonna like blow air through it. So every time it counts a pulse, it does the math, and each pulse is about, I think, like 2 milliliters or something. I don't exactly remember the precise amount. It's a little bit different for each one. And so as water goes through it, and I sat there with a 2-liter bottle, and I filled it up with water using a little pump. And so it's pretty good. It's within about 10%. So, yeah, there you go. So that's the demo for
Good work.
these little brass guys. And the plastic ones are very similar.
All right, and someone wants to know, can you do brightness? Can you change the brightness on those screens?
You can't, because the OLEDs are...
It's just bright.
It's just bright. They're just bright. There might be a setting in the data sheet, but it's not part of the standard settings. It does have some cool extras, like you can use it in graphic mode, although it's not... it's not completely clear, like you have to do something special to do that, because it's not part of the standard character parts, like an extension. It does have like multiple languages, it has like Russian and European. You can change the code page, which is cool. And you can put it into SPI mode, but you have to solder a resistor on the back.
Do you know the current drain of the OLED?
It's in the data sheet, for sure. I think it's probably like 40 or 50 milliamps total.
Do they refresh quicker than LCDs, where LCD flickers a bit when characters changes?
These do not flicker almost at all. They're much, much faster because it's not LCD. It's much more active. So it's crisper. There's no contrast control, because the contrast is always like ultra high. And yeah, you're not going to get as much like flicker or distortion. It's going to be pretty much constant and super clear all the time. It does refresh, so that if I waved it, you would see it flicker a little bit, but not very much.
Are we going to get other colors?
We might. I mean, these are a little expensive is the problem, so we didn't want to, and you have to order 300 minimum, so I didn't want to carry like, the 7 different colors they had, so I thought that the blue kind of looked the best and had the most reasonable lead time, and then if these are popular, I'll carry more, but it's tough to, I don't want to have 3,000 character OLEDs. I don't know how popular they'd be. That's a lot of OLEDs to store. Okay, sorry, so the battery holder.
Yeah, let's go back to this.
Thank you for being demo patient. I got like 6 demos. Yes, this is just a battery holder. Super easy. For any 4 AA batteries, it gives you 6 volts. It's a little bit high for microcontroller stuff, but if you put a 1N 4001 diode in series, it kind of brings it down to 5. That's probably good enough. And there's an on-off switch. So these are less expensive than the waterproof ones, and they're not waterproof, and they're not even very water resistant. But they're very good for general project use.
This one is not waterproof. We have waterproof, and this is not waterproof.
We have a waterproof 3 by AA, and this is a 4 by AA not waterproof. We're trying to get some waterproof holders in, but each one requires quite a bit of time to get. So we're going to try to get a 4 AA one, but not sure when.
And next up, I have some photos, and then we have a little video. So let's.
Well, we should show the inverter next.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So this is the EL.
This is the audio EL inverter.
Yeah.
Which I have hooked up, coincidentally.
Yeah.
To this battery holder.
Yeah, and we also have a video of it, but let's go to the live demo and then we'll do the video demo.
Yeah, hopefully this demo will go a lot better. So yeah, I have it connected up to this 6-volt power supply with 4 AA batteries, and this is the audio inverter. And there's a little microphone. You can kind of see the little holes there. That's where the mic is, and then there's just a red LED. And you can adjust how sensitive it is. So it's all the way minimum, like you tap it and barely does anything. And then as you increase the sensitivity, it reacts much more strongly. So you can adjust that depending on how much you want to be reactive. And then it has 3 settings on the side: off, which is off, music mode, and full on. So it can act as like a normal all the way on constant inverter. But the nice thing about this one is it has this reactive audio one. So I might get a little more sensitive. Hey Phil, Adabot, say something.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's the reactive. So it works with EL panel, EL tape, or EL wire. You can use it with any of them, and it will do the same sort of reactive stuff.
Okay, I'll make a little quick video that Becky made, and we're going to go to that right now.
This is the 6-volt sound-activated EL inverter from Adafruit. It's perfect for portable projects because you can power it with just 4 AA or AAA batteries, which can then easily fit in your pocket. It would make a great musical upgrade to the Tron bag Lady Ada and I made a while back. And we also have the 12-volt version of the same inverter, which you can use for car or home projects, like this couch I modded in this video. If you want to share your EL project, come to our weekly electronics show and tell on Google+, or leave a video response. And don't forget to subscribe.
Okay.
So I like these because they help make an EL project maybe a little bit more interactive, but without needing to get like a controller or a microcontroller involved. This is some basic reactivity, but I think could be still... I think it's a nice little addition to our collection of EL.
I think for the people who do lots of case mod stuff that use EL, this will be really neat.
Yeah.
Because you can have it set up so, like, depending on how loud your computer is, it's doing stuff.
You can react to the music. You can pipe it. You can connect it to the audio output of your computer and have it react.
Okay, we're gonna keep moving along here.
Yes. Next up is the embed.
The embed. We're carrying embeds.
Yay! So we were trying to carry more different development platforms, not just Arduino. We don't carry just Arduino, we actually a lot more.
I think we're hitting pretty much all of the platforms. We've always tried to have some type of embedded Linux. We've had Propeller. We have the Pinguino, the PIC-based stuff, and now we have this.
This is an LPC 1768, which is actually a pretty intense chip. I can't go in depth into this because we're going to run out of time, but basically it's a mini USB breadboard friendly LPC chip. It's got a reset button, some LEDs on the back. It's got another LPC chip and a piece of flash. And what's really neat is that when you plug this in, it shows up as a hard drive, and then you can drag programs onto it, and then that's this chip, and this chip will program the main chip. And use an online compiler, although now you can even use offline compilers, which I think is really cool. They have a GCC. They have instructions on how to use GCC with the export tools on the embed website. Right. So even though the easiest way to get going is to use the online website compiler, which I think is really cool and has all these social features, you can also do it offline. So I thought that was kind of cool, and that's kind of what made me like
Yeah,
cross line into one carrier.
That was new for this year, and there's an export tool. You can export your project, and you can use compilers offline, and you can use, for the people who like to use open source tool chains, you can use ARM GCC and write your programs. And we'll have an example for that soon too. Kevin Townsend, who works with us, he uses that pretty much for all of his stuff in in the ARM board that we have.
The LPC 1760 is a sweet chip, and then it comes with this really nice little card with all the pinouts, and a mini Bgn.
Do you know how much memory it has as a drive, so you can drag the programs onto it? Let's see.
I don't think it won't say on there, but I can read the.
You could probably look on the page that we have.
I believe it's 2 megabytes. It says 8T. It's the 4DB16, and that's 16. So yeah, that's 2 megabytes. So it's got 2 megabytes of storage, and that can be used for data logging as well because it's 16 megabit, and that's 2 megabytes. So 2 megabytes.
Question: 3.3 volt, 3.3.
This is a 3.3 volt device.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people who use our RFID board with this, and we're going to have a pack shortly.
Yes, we're going to make a special NXP Super Happy Love pack that has both the NXP PN532 NFC RFID board and the embed, and hopefully they'll port our totally awesome library that Kevin Townsend wrote from Arduino to this, and luckily all of our code is in C. It's open source, it's on GitHub, so it's really easy to port it to other platforms.
We have a big tent for all of the platforms here. I like all of them.
It's a tent.
Yeah, big tent. Yeah.
Well, actually, it's kind of like an apartment.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Okay.
All right, and then we just have one last thing, and then we'll open it up for all general questions. We have a
this is my
capacitive
favorite,
touch.
But I don't have a demo for it because I didn't have time.
Yeah, capacitive touch trackpad.
While packing, but I will talk about what it can do. So this is really neat. So if you've seen laptops, you know that they all have touch pads now, and you can also get external touch pads. This is an external touch pad, and the neat thing about it is, first off, it's got this nice big touchpad area, and it's capacitive, and it's got 2 mouse buttons. So it's meant to actually, if you plug it into a computer, it looks like a mouse. But the cool thing about this is that it's PS2. There's a little PS2 adapter, and PS2 is a really easy interface for microcontrollers to talk to like external devices like this. So we wrote a really quick PS2 library for this for Arduino, but almost any microcontroller has a PS2 library. It's really common, and using only 2 pins, data and clock, you can talk to this. And so we wrote a driver for it. And the neat thing is that it's got this capacitive touch pad, and you can get absolute touch values and Z values. So I can get, from 0, 0 all the way to like 1,000, 1,000, I think, or something, or like 600, 1,000. And it'll also tell you how hard you're pressing. And then it can also do some basic gestures. It doesn't do like the drag or the squeeze stuff, but it does do tap and double tap. So you can detect tap, double tap, and then absolute motion. So this is a way to do like touch-based stuff. Like if you want to put stickers or an overlay over this, it would still work because it's capacitive and it works through most materials. You can have an interface that is really inexpensive and much cheaper than trying to build your own capacitive touchpad-based system using like this off-the-shelf trackpad stuff. And you get 2 buttons, and it works with the microcontroller like super easily. And I just thought it was like, this would be so cool. And I think that people are gonna do some really cool stuff with this. Like I think a musical instrument, or like a lighting controller or something like that. Yeah, it's super easy, and if you really wanted to, you could even take it out of the plastic case and mount it in a special case if you wanted to. I got this because it was a kind of a basic case.
Can you use a PS2 to USB adapter with this?
No, it's PS2 only.
Okay.
It's not meant for use with there's a version that was USB, but that's for computers. I wanted to make sure this was for microcontrollers.
Yeah, and as someone pointed out, this is way thinner than an array of buttons. Like, you could do some really neat stuff. We think there's going to be all sorts of cool lighting things, musical instruments for sure.
And then most of it's air. Like, I took this apart because I wanted to see what the chipset is. It's an out the chipset, and like the actual circuit board is super skinny. It's glued onto this, but you can pry it off if you wanted to. Yeah. So it's really cool. We have example code library for it that works out of the box, and it's super easy to get going, and will tell you like where you're touching and what are you pressing. So do check this out. I really like this. We're going to try to get some more PS2 devices in because it's the easiest way to get stuff like keyboards and mouse and trackballs and all that stuff attached to my controller.
Okay, and that was the end of new products. A lot of stuff. A lot of good questions too.
Well, we had to get 2 weeks worth in 1 week.